I'm going to tell you something and you're not going to believe me. You can decrease your net worth by thousands of dollars in only 6 months. I'm going to show you how this client of mine went from minus $30,000 in net worth to only minus $8,000 in less than 6 months. Stay tuned. So let me show you what I mean by paying off just a whopping amount of money into as close as possible as you can get to zero in 6 months. Full disclosure, there are spreadsheets involved, so if you want to find out more about this, you'll have to bear with me for just 1 second. So here's the spreadsheet I wanted to show you. I asked my client, we started working in September of last year, and I asked her to start tabbing and tracking all of her progress by date every week. Every single week, she is supposed to track down and list down her all of her numbers. Okay, so what does that include? It includes all of her liabilities, and we'll go through all of these liabilities or debt or things she owes and numbers and figures that she owes to others, and then her assets, things that she owns, things that belong to her and can't be taken away from her, all of her savings and all that good stuff. So that's the way you find out your net worth. You subtract all of your liabilities, so all of your debt. In this case, they had over $46,000. You subtract it to all of your assets, okay? And you'll get a number at the end of this subtraction, and that number is your net worth. Ideally, it is above zero, and many, many dollars above zero. That would be spectacular. But if you have debt, if you owe creditors, then more likely than not, you are in the red or you're below zero. That was the case with this person. Let's take a look. So in September of last year, she had all of this debt. She had 2 personal loans with Upstart. Here they are. She had an Apple card. She had with Capital One Saver. She had this one with Chase. She had another one with Capital One Quicksilver, and she had an auto loan. All of it put together amounted $46,000 and then some. In terms of what she owed, so she had, $132 in her checking account, also with Capital One. She had $1,700 with her savings and Capital One as well. She had, this was her her savings account. She had close to $2,000, not too bad, and then another $500 here, which was for trinkets and things throughout the week, so pocket money, so that amounted over $2,000. And then she was doing a little bit of Uber, but not yet, as you can see, not until November, December, really. Apple savings, forget about it. And then a couple of dollars, $3,000 here, almost $4,000 in Fidelity brokerage account and Fidelity rollover IRA. She has a Charles Schwab brokerage account, and her 401k, boom, is at $3,000. Robinhood, which I don't recommend, $75. So total assets, $15,000 to $136. Her net worth, so here's that subtraction. So you subtract your liabilities from your assets, her net worth was minus $31,187.98. Pretty daunting. So we went over all of these numbers, we wrote them down, and I asked her, among other things, to start tracking weekly, to have a little, people call it a money date, call it whatever you want to call it. Just put some time on your calendar, maybe a Sunday afternoon, maybe I do it on a Friday morning for some reason. Just take charge and take stock of your numbers as well. So she did it, I think she was very excited. So she did it on the 27th again, and then on the 28th. And then I think this is when it started getting more regular and more weekly, really. So here we go. So let's take a look at October. So 1 month exactly after she started paying off debt and increasing her savings and her investments. Her Upstart, Upstarts, they went down by a little bit. Apple Card, I think she was focusing on doing the baby steps, and so paying off the credit card with the least amount, which was in this case, oh yeah, she paid off Chase. Look at that. She paid off Chase the week after, and then she was focusing on the Apple card, which was at 4,200. So see here, she focused. Oh, the next day, look at that. She paid $3,000, and then she was at 788. So she was focusing, as you can see, on paying off her Apple card, which she did in December. At which point, she moved on to other debt. So here alone, you can see an increase because it got negative in her debt. So it went from 46 in just a week. It went from 46,424 to 45. So minus $1,119. The next week, $70 extra. Okay, that happens sometimes. And then boom, $900. And then again, so because you're paid bi-weekly, so 1 week you can't do that much, and then because you got to pay rent and all that. But the next week, that's when you right? So 14,000 she paid off. And then the next week she paid off. No, she did something extravagant. I don't know what it was. And she accrued another 1,900. Shit happens, I guess, the holidays, vacation, I don't know what it was. And then paid off $12. Paid off, you fall off the wagon, you get right back at it the next week or the next day, okay? But we're just focusing on the debt. Let's look at everything. So assets, they're also increasing. Total assets, they were 15. They start increasing only here exactly a month after she began. So they increased by $389, and then they increased again the next week by $352, and then that's that moment of that vacation. So that was not spectacular. But then boom, she just went, and her assets increased by $2,000, and then minus 600. Minus 160, and then 70. So you see, there's ebbs and flows. Definitely, it's not a linear path, which is why it's so frustrating and so difficult to really, both pay off your debt and stay on track and keep building that net worth into the positive numbers. I understand, I see this, but you can now see it so clearly, weekly by week, week by week by week. Look, if she had stuck with these numbers, oh my gosh, I owe over $46,000. My assets are only $15,000, and I'm in the red, $31,000. And if she had just not done anything and just stayed in this place of despair, she wouldn't be where she is today. So look, September, let's look at today. Look, week, every week. And let's look at where we are today. So we are at this week, a couple of days after the 4th of July. And look, her Upstart, her first loan has gotten paid off. It got paid off actually here in March. Her second loan, it was at, sorry for going back and forth, but it was at $14,000. And now look, it's at $9,500. Apple card, something must have happened here. I will have to speak with her. And then this was one of the credit cards. Oh, this credit card got paid when? In January. It was at, well, it wasn't much. Ooh. Oh, this is when she did that crazy thing, and then she paid it off immediately, as you can see, and she's stuck with it. So it's been paid off since January. And then her other cards, and now I wanted to show you her auto insurance. So it was at 15,000, and today in July, beginning of July, it's at 12. So, we're not focusing on all of the debt all at the same time. We're focusing on one debt at a time. And this obviously is from Dave Ramsey. We debt payers would not be here without him and his baby steps. So you got to focus on one. He does the snowball paying method, which I totally agree with, but I'm fine also with the Avalanche method. So paying the debt with the highest APR first. He does paying off the smallest debt, however the interest is, first. So to be honest, just do it. I don't care. But focus on one at a time. $4,000, boom, out of the way, on to the next one. $2,000, great, out of the way, on to the next one. And now I wanted to show you, so her total debt on July 7th is $29,000, okay? Still a good amount. Obviously, there's still a ways ahead, but it was $46,000. $424 in September. Now her assets, so they were $15,000 like I showed you in the beginning, and now, well, they've increased by $5,000. When you are paying off debt, some people, Dave Ramsey is one of them, will say, no, stop everything, just go gazelle intense, just pay the one thing, focus on the debt, focus, focus, focus. And in 2 years, let's say, you'll have your $50K, $1,000 paid off, and now you get to invest. In this case, and I give my clients really a lot of freedom. I mean, it depends on their age, it depends on their where they are in life, really. And this client is 53 years old. She's a divorced single mom of an almost adult child, and she's nervous about her retirement. So we said, okay, let's balance things out. Okay, so these are all her assets today, this week. And look, her 401k, which was at $3,000, and now is $10,000. So in 6 months. So if you can do 20K a year, that's pretty cool, actually. And this is, you know, drowning. I don't like that word, drowning in debt, but this is for a person with a large amount of debt. You know, if you take this money out, if you pay yourself first, take this money out of your paycheck, you know, if you never even see it and you're contributing at least to make the match that you get from your employer, say in this case, I believe it's 6%. If you're taking that 6% off, you're never even seeing it, you're not touching it, you're putting that money in good index funds in your 401k, it'll grow, okay? So this is what I wanted to show you. So her net worth was in the beginning minus $31,000 and then a little bit of change, minus 31, and today it's at minus 8. So I want to say in October of this year, she will be at, I don't want to, October, November, she will be at least $0,000 of net worth, and from then on she just builds on it. She just starts building, and it's never going to go back, you know, to negative. I can't guess the future, but that's the idea, that she never goes back into debt. And all the money, so these $29,000 that she owes, once it's gone, once this payment for the personal loan, once the credit card, once this other credit card, which is so close, probably what she's focusing on now, once the auto loan is out of the way, then all of this money, these $29,000 can go towards investing and saving. I wanted to show you today, if you liked to see this spreadsheet, I mean, you know, people run away from spreadsheets, they're boring, but I think there's nothing boring about looking back 6 months and looking at your progress. I mean, forget about affirmations and words of motivation, as amazing as those are. Look at your progress. You can touch it and you can predict where you're going to be in a couple of months as well. So if you like the spreadsheet, you can download it. And if you like this video, if you thought it was instructive, if you thought you got away with something, please subscribe and come back. Thank you.